All right, hey everyone, GratuiTous here. Welcome back to the Studio Assembly series. In this video, I want to talk about the Avantone Mixcube. I really like how it looks, but the question is, does it make your mixes sound better? Right? That's the main question why you're probably on this video. So the Avantone Mixcube, they actually have an active version and they have a passive version. The passive version does not have an amplifier. The active version is the easiest way to get up and running. So here is the active version. And if I scroll all the way down here to the bottom, you will see that you get 3 different options of colors. You can also purchase them as a bundle. Now, if you're going to purchase 2 at the same time, what I've seen a lot of people do out there is they actually combine the 2 together. So imagine one is here and then one is right to the left. They kind of push them together to give you just a little bit more loudness out of the speaker. So just on the back here, this is where you plug in your speaker with a TRS cable or an XLR cable. There's a ground lift option. I have not needed that, but I guess if you have ground loop issues, you can do that. You have your volume, your switch, and then again, that's where you plug in your power. Again, we will check all this out here shortly. One thing to mention is the very bottom of the Avantone does have a mount. So if you wanted to mount this to a tripod, so here is just all the specs. If you want to pause the video, you can look at that. Here is what the passive one looks like on the back. All right, so that is the passive version. You need your own amplifier. And then the active version has this, all right? So it has like the heat sink and stuff. So let's just quickly talk about price. So when I purchased mine, again, you can purchase it by itself or you can purchase it in a bundle for both of them. And this is, I'm in Canada, so I purchased from Tom Lee Music. So shout out to them. Again, I don't really do the sponsorship videos. All of my music income is through my website. It's GratuiTous.com, where you can learn beatmaking with my beatmaking courses. All right, so again, this is Canadian prices. This is the actual one I purchased. Okay, it is the active cream. I really like the cream color. It looks very, very nice in the studio. Right now, it's kind of like a little bit of a yellow light in here, but I really like the look of it. But again, looks are only so much. It's all about, does it actually help you in making music? And then again, here is the bundle version, the left and right. So for $700, or you can get it for $380 in Canada. All right, so far, you know that there is an active and passive model. Active is way easier to connect. You can purchase them by themselves or in a bundle deal. So again, I highly recommend checking out. So this is my website. It's GratuiTous.com, and then set up Avantone Mixcube to audio interface, and there's so much information in here. So one thing I have to tell you guys when you are connecting your Avantone is to never, one sec, it's almost here. So here it is. So this is an article I found on Gearspace, okay, by Lotus 7. So shout out to Lotus 7. When we are connecting these Avantone Mixcubes, so most of our audio interfaces send a left and a right? But how do we send that as a mono signal, both the left and right combined into here? So what I was thinking is that you're going to send both your TRS cables and you're just going to combine them with a Y cable and plug it in. But for my research, that's very dangerous to your equipment. You want to make sure that you have resistors. So if you can see here, there's like resistors. So you'd have to actually solder your own cable if you want to go this route, which even for myself, I was an electrician here in Canada for many years. So I have experience for electricity, but this was even a little bit involved for myself. So what I decided to do was, thankfully, I already had an audio interface that had a mono option, okay? And thankfully, this particular monitor or this audio interface is also a monitor controller. So again, if you've been following this series, you know that now. So bank A is my right and left speaker. And below here, I have a subwoofer, okay? So bank A has a sub, a left speaker, and a right speaker. Now, when I want to listen to the Avantone Mixcube, what I do is I will disable A, I will enable B, and then I make sure to push mono. And then I only send one audio cable from the audio interface to the Avantone Mixcube so that I'm not sending both audio cables into there with a Y cable, so do not do that, because otherwise you have to do something like this. Okay, so again, just visit this link. It's gratuitous.com. Set up Avantone Mixcube to audio interface. And this whole article is, again, my whole experience about the Avantone Mixcube, okay? So again, this is the current website. I just launched a new revamp, and so this is the title. And again, there's the video and tons of information about the Avantone Mixcube when it comes to how to set it up and my experience of doing research about these horror tones. And so if I just scroll down here, 1 second, this, I just want to share the different models that I was looking at. So there's the Avantone Mixcube, the Orotone 5C. So one thing I just want to mention is Behringer was using this name, and they got in trouble for it. So I was also looking for the Reftone, but I couldn't find it in Canada. And then you can also look for this one as well. But I just decided to go for the Avantone. All right, so let's get into more of the review now. So again, the aesthetics, so how it looks, I really like the cream look. Looks awesome, especially this red heat sink, all that kind of stuff. The look is very awesome. The build quality is excellent. Very happy with the purchase. For the price, I think it's a little expensive. It's just a single speaker allowing you to focus in on that mid-range. Does it do its job? Yes, but I'm sure you can get a cheaper speaker for like $50 to $100 to get very similar results. Because for myself personally, when I'm making beats, I'm mainly working on my main bigger speakers. These are 8-inch woofers there. And then I also have the sub. And then as I'm mixing my music, I am switching between the reference monitors as well as the Avantone. So in the studio, it's just a nice little reference. But then even for myself, I am listening on different earbuds, different headphones, different audio systems before I go to actually release like one of my beat tapes or something. For the aesthetics in the studio, it really makes the studio look more professional, very nice. But in reality, we are talking about results. And for the price, like I'm saying, I think it's just a little bit expensive because to my students and my audience, you know, if you are more of on a budget, like I was saying, I think that you could get a much cheaper speaker, just a single speaker that you can switch to, and you can get really good results as well, because the whole goal here is, so again, no crossover, right? So that's the point of this single speaker, as well as it's smaller, allowing you to hear what it's kind of like more on like smaller speakers, like maybe cell phone speakers, TV speakers, stuff like that, okay? You know, it kind of takes out the low end, takes off, you know, maybe a little bit of the high end, allows you to focus in on that mid range, so that, you know, when you're doing your compression, EQ, all that kind of stuff. But again, you can do that with a much more affordable speaker. But if you do want that shimmer, you know, in terms of how it looks, then you know, then you can look into this product. Okay, so that's just an honest review of, I have purchased it, I have used it, I've owned it for a couple of years now, and that's just my thoughts on it. So on its bottom, it has quite a thick insulation pad. Right? Like, so like I'm saying, like this is built very well. And then it also has a thread here. You'd have to look online. I'd say it's a 5/8 or something. Again, look online. And just for completeness of the overview, I'll just give you a quick overview of how all this stuff plugs in. So this one is permanently connected, and then you can unplug this end here. Okay, so this is a transformer. This is what it happens. Okay, so it's a little transformer. It converts it down to 30 volts. And here is the back, or the bottom for you. So if you want to see any of that stuff before you start plugging your stuff in. And there's one other thing to share here just on the front. So it has a little switch there depending on where you live, has a fuse compartment, and there you go for all the voltage and stuff. But I think what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to put my Avantone on the speaker. But the problem of that is that the speaker is quite high, and so it's not going to be focused at me. And so I have this you know, it's like really soft. It's kind of like packing, shipping stuff. And I just stapled it, and that's just going to put the speaker on a bit of an angle. So I'll share that with you. So that's what it looks like. And then again, I might need to put just a little bit more pitch back there. So I'll find something maybe a little softer. Again, raise it up just a little bit, just so I can have it focused at me just a little bit more. But again, that's it. And then I'll just share the end of this cable. This is a locking cable. Right? So once you plug it in, you just twist it in, and that's it. And the last thing I want to say is, in terms of buying them both together, I would have really liked to hear how it sounded, because the one speaker by itself, it's good. It can go really loud, but when you have the two speakers, it might just kind of have that, just a little bit more loudness, but I'm really happy with it as it is. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can leave comments below. I am happy with the product. I think it's a little bit expensive, but if you get it, you will enjoy your time with it. And that's it. So if you guys want to learn to make beats, you guys can visit me over at GratuiTous.com, and I will continue on with my studio reassemble series here. I think the last thing is the MIDI keyboard. All right. And if you haven't seen this before, I just built this little custom keyboard slider. It is amazing for workflow, so I can access my keyboard as well as have my MIDI keyboard right there on a slide out. Okay, and if you haven't seen the video yet, so again, these are just slides that you would get in the kitchen, soft closing slides from Home Depot. I just put some wood, bolted it down, screwed them in, and it gives me a really, really good workflow in the studio. So again, you guys can check out the playlist. I'll leave the playlist in the description, or you can visit me over at itsgratuitous.com if you're looking to make professional beats. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. If you guys would like to learn FL Studio, check out my free book called 5 Keys to a Successful Beat. So simple it becomes creative. Get it by going to itsgratuitous.com/5 keys.